I'm Alex with Storyline Travel, and today we're going to talk about a trip review of our trip to Walt Disney World in November 2021. Stay tuned for more details. Today we'll finish our trip review talking about general information and the very Merriest After Hours event. So let me share some general park information that we found in our visit around the Walt Disney World Resort. First, we had 2 nights of extended park time. We had an extra 3 hours at EPCOT and an extra 3 hours at Magic Kingdom. EPCOT was on Monday night and Magic Kingdom on Wednesday night. And we were afforded this because we were in a deluxe resort. So our magic bands were available to cast members after park hours closed, and it validated that we were eligible for stay for the additional 3 hours. This was a great opportunity to ride some of the more popular rides as standby, as we found the later in the evening it got, the parks really cleared out. We were able to walk on to a number of rides and attractions that maybe had been a little more difficult early in the evening. Benefits of staying in a deluxe resort right now, again, November 2021, and the advantage of working with somebody like myself with Storyline Travel, where we can share that information that's with you. It wasn't posted anywhere. I didn't see it on my Disney Experience app. This was something that, being in the travel industry and staying connected with Disney, that I learned about and was able to take advantage of. So we did enjoy that as part of the experience staying in a deluxe resort. Additionally, because we were on property, we did have 30 minutes each morning to get into the parks before the general population, those who stay outside of the Disney bubble, come to visit. It was really interesting when we got to EPCOT early, the day that we did, is half of the front of the park was full of patrons waiting to get into the park, waiting for that 10 o'clock time. Sorry, they opened at 10. 10 o'clock time, and we were able to just walk on through because we had the 30-minute window earlier and get to the park. Speaking of EPCOT, one thing that we've noticed that has changed since the reopening of the parks is that EPCOT has one opening time now. For some of you who may remember, before the pandemic, Walt Disney World had 2 opening times for EPCOT, 9 o'clock for the front of the park, the front section of the park, and then 11 a.m. for the back section of the park. And now there is a single time where the park opens entirely at 10 a.m. I'm sure some of that is because of the Skyliner and more use of the International Gateway at the quote back of EPCOT, or the entrance into the World Showcase. But we also found some really interesting and took advantage of some of the interesting changes in the fact that the World Showcase is open at 10 a.m. You can now get breakfast, for example, in France. And we took advantage and had breakfast at the new creperie in the French Pavilion, and that 10 to 11 a.m. window is breakfast only. So we got to enjoy breakfast in the World Showcase at EPCOT. A first for us. We really enjoyed it. I highly recommend. I also want to share with you something that we discovered for rentals within a park. For example, strollers or wheelchairs. When you rent those and you park hop, so you've got a special ticket where you can park hop after 2 p.m. You can go from the park you start in the day to another park. You can carry that rental, your receipt, with you. And when you get to the second park, you get to get a wheelchair or stroller and use for the rest of the day. That receipt gives you, it's a day use. That's not the case for lockers. So for us, we were at Hollywood Studios the day that we wanted to go to the very Merriest After Hours event. We did rent a locker at Hollywood Studios, and when it came time for us to go over to the Magic Kingdom for this special event, we went to the Magic Kingdom locker section, went and talked to a cast member. Cast member did call the supervisor on our behalf as requested, but they do not transfer the day use of locker rentals from one park to another. So we ended up paying double for the lockers. So it's good to know if you are going to take advantage of the lockers, if you're going to go from one park to the next, you're going to have to pay double. Finally, let's talk about the Disney's Very Merriest After Hours event. It was a lot of fun. For our family, it was a Christmas party. So that's what we referred to it as. We decided that we wanted to try to eat dinner there because we were moving from one park to the next. We found very few places open to eat after 7 p.m. We ended up eating some fried chicken sandwiches and French fries. It was about all we could find. One reason for that is a lot of the restaurants are used to serve cookies and cocoa, and so they closed down the normal food service offerings, and you're kind of pushed towards kiosks for the most part, and there were only 4 to 5 places where you could get something. Again, most of it was like fried chicken strips. I think there were hot dogs at Casey's Corner and French fries. And so we recommend you grab dinner before you get to Magic Kingdom for one of these special events, and don't count on eating too much once you get in there other than sweets. There were lots of snacks, so I did mention the cookies and cocoa. We also found popcorn that was provided, Mickey bars that we could get, Coke products in bottles, so Coke, Sprite, even water bottles were provided, and that was part of the admission cost getting in. And I will tell you, as the event was coming to an end, I did go in to get one last cookie and walked out with 5 last cookies. So as you get to the end, sometimes you get a little extra special gift if you want to get that one last cookie. Getting into the event was quite an interesting feat for us. So again, we're park hopping. We did get there a little on the later side, so right as the party was kicking off, and there were about 10 access points open where you could go and scan. So each access point tends to have 4 Mickey heads where you can scan in, right? So there was 20 to 40 people coming in at a time, scanning and then getting their wristband for the event. But Disney had funneled all those folks into a single line to get into the park at Main Street USA. So while there was a nice wide path for people exiting, it was only a single file lane for us trying to get in. It made for chaos. It was very tight. It was right near the wheelchair and stroller rental location that's there at Magic Kingdom. And so you are trying to get in a single file line with your fellow event goers, as well as folks who've gotten wheelchairs, strollers, ECVs, anything like that, all coming into one single file lane into Magic Kingdom. Our recommendation is to really get there early, maybe even being Magic Kingdom before the party starts. You can go to the Tomorrowland area. There's a cast member there that will give you a wristband, and you're already in the park. You don't have to fight the traffic as all the guests leaving Magic Kingdom who are not going to stay for the event. It was really kind of chaotic for us, and we want to avoid that next time. Unfortunately, the evening where we enjoyed this after hours event was a rainy evening. I will tell you that these events will happen when it rains. We did have the parade. We did have fireworks. Fireworks don't stop in the rain unless there's lightning, and same with the parade. So it was raining off and on. It was, dashing in and out of buildings and cover, or just getting wet at some point. We finally just gave up and got wet. We did enjoy the fireworks. We did enjoy the parade, but be aware that it will go on even if it's raining. Also, we didn't get any snow. That's one of the things we always think so special about these after hours event and the Christmas holiday season is the snow. Because of the rain, it just wasn't possible. I mean, you might see a little bubble float by, but for the most part, we didn't get that experience. And mainly it was because of the weather. So set your expectations. That may happen. We still had fun, enjoying everything. Most of the attractions that we wanted to experience were available and were very short lines. With one exception, we did run into the Jingle Cruise was considerably long. The fact that it's themed for Christmas and we're at a Christmas event made sense that it took a while. We did experience it after waiting in line, but just be aware, for the most part, you get to walk in. The Haunted Mansion we walked right on, no problem. Enjoyed that attraction. And roller coasters, lots of fun in addition to the parade. There were pop-up events. We did get some Christmas singers in Frontierland, which my daughter and wife and I enjoyed for a few minutes. And so overall, I think the party was a lot of fun. We went on one of the least expensive days, and it was still quite a bit. Having the snacks included was nice, but at the same time, I probably ate way too many, knowing that I'd already paid for them. That I didn't care for too much. You can't choose the weather. Florida's too unpredictable. If it was a nicer evening, I think we would have had even more fun. But at the end of the night, I think we would do it again. But we would really think about it because it is quite expensive. And I don't think I would do it closer to Christmas where the costs get even higher, especially if the crowds were more packed, where I couldn't enjoy the attractions. Again, the Jingle Cruise actually took us about an hour to experience. And that's our trip for November 2021 to Walt Disney World. I hope you learned something new. Please comment below. Let us know, did you learn something new? And subscribe to our channel. We're putting these videos out every Friday, and we'd love you to be a part of our community. Give us a like button if this review was useful to you, and turn on those notifications. That way, every time we post a new video, you know. And remember, at Storyline Travel, we believe every adventure is a story waiting to be told.